So as much as I love using this broomstick to hold up the hood, first thing we're going to do today is replace the hood shocks. Should be pretty simple. Thank you to the guys at 3SX Performance for sending these out. Definitely been needing these. Okay, so first fail of the day. The new shocks, looks like they thread on either side. Hopefully you guys can see that. But unfortunately, I can't seem to separate these two pieces. So I actually used a pair of vice grips and kind of mucked up the sides of this. So if anyone knows how to install these, please drop a line in the comments below, or I'm gonna have to replace the two ends on the new thing. So that's not the end of the world, but it'd be awesome just to reuse the original brackets and stuff like that. So moving on for today, going to replace the spark plugs. Now unfortunately with this setup, this is a V6, so the other three spark plugs are underneath this top side of the intake manifold. So from doing some research online and on YouTube, I do have to remove the top of the intake manifold plenum, and that will give me access to the rear valve cover. So I'm gonna start with the easy stuff first. We're gonna replace these spark plugs with the BKR7E-11 spark plugs. Now I do need to gap these, so I'll show you guys how to do that in just a second. On the left hand side are the old spark plugs. These are NGKs, but they are definitely in need of replacement. On the right is the new BKR7Es. These were sent out by 3SX Performance as well, so huge shout out to those guys. And just doing some research online, it looks like I need to gap them to about 0.028. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this done. Actually, they might even be pre-gap, but we'll go ahead and verify that. Make sure whenever you change spark plugs, you do check the gap, because this can severely impact how your car actually drives. So don't overlook the small stuff, guys. Make sure you pay attention to the details. Yeah, so upon inspection, looks like these come pre-gap to about 42. So I'm gonna go ahead and re-gap these down to 0.028, and then we'll toss these in the front 3 cylinders. Alright, so I started removing some of the stuff on the intake manifold, and based on my research online, I'm going to have to take off the top half of this intercore piping and the throttle body, and then there's just these bolts here holding on the top half of the intake manifold plenum. Now, you can actually see the valve cover underneath here, but you can't reach it because of all the stuff is here. So I'm just going to put a time lapse together, and I will let you guys watch me as I take all this stuff off. So by the magic of editing, here we go right now. Okay, so the current tenants are moving out. There's just a little bit more stuff, but I'm gonna bring you guys along for the tour for the first time. I hope you guys enjoy it. So after about 45 minutes of removing everything else on this intake manifold, it's definitely not an easy job. We're ready to take it off, so here we go.
You got something connected there.
Just a vacuum hose. There we go. She's free.
Awesome.
All right. Let's look under here. There are the spark plugs, finally, after all that work. And look at the little turbo. Oh my God, that thing is tiny. before I change the spark plugs out, looking in here, we got, I don't know if you guys can see that, looks like a ton of berries or something like that. So put some paper towel into the cylinders, and I'm just going to take the shop vac and then a little bit of a light degrease to remove any remnants of stuff. Now I'm not gonna go through the hassle of painting the valve cover here. That's because no one is going to see this, but I do wanna have clean work, and I think it's very important to clean everything up. You know, why not while we're in here? So that's just about as clean as I'm going to get it. Just pulled off the spark plug wires. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace the back 3 spark plugs, reassemble the spark plug wires, and then what I'm doing in the meantime is cleaning this thing up. So just got the wire wheel out. We're gonna be cleaning this off really good, and we're gonna be repainting this. Now originally we're gonna polish it, but I think for the sake of time, we're gonna go ahead and just paint this a nice silver color, or maybe even the gunmetal color that this was. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get it done. All right, time to paint the intake manifold. All right. So fast forward a few minutes, I got the entire intake manifold masked off. So unfortunately, I do not have anything to cover these up for now, so we're gonna do this the old-fashioned way. I'm going to be painting this actually with the same color as the valve cover. This is a VHT high temperature 550, which probably is a bit overkill for this as well. But we're gonna do probably 3 to 4 coats of that color and then finish it off with some of the VHT gloss clear. Now, I'm not looking for a show quality finish. I do know that this material, this cast aluminum, is kind of rough, so it might look a little bit strange. It's not gonna look super mirror glossy, but that's okay. It's gonna look a lot better than this. I know you guys have been complaining in the comments section. And then after everything is painted and cleared, we'll see how it looks. If it looks good, we'll leave it. If not, we'll go ahead and we will sand off that so it's a nice polished finish. So here we go. All right, so this is what it looks like after the 3rd coat. Looks really, really nice. It actually turned out a lot better than I thought. So I'm gonna wait about 15 to 20 minutes and then hit it with 2 or 3 coats of clear, and we'll be good to go. The moment of truth. You guys wanna see the intake manifold? Here we go. Boom. Whoa, super nice. Very, very stoked with how this thing came out. I just put a couple of these sensors back on, and I replaced some of the vacuum hoses that look like they were kind of degraded on here. So the intake manifold gasket is in there. The spark plugs that are re-gapped, the new ones that are in there, are all set and ready to go. Valve cover's cleaned off, and without further ado, let's go ahead and pop this guy on here. Good. Started. So I'm gonna go around and check for vacuum leaks, but it's good that it's idling really well right now. So cross your fingers and we'll go out for a test drive. That looks so much better, and obviously I haven't driven it around yet, but the idle was extremely smooth. I don't see any vacuum leaks, so this job is complete. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. Let's go out for a test drive and then we'll see how everything runs. So it turns out Rick actually had all the brackets for the hood struts. So We're gonna go ahead and install these right now. Finally have hood props that work. So
shout out to 3SX Performance for the hood props.
Hooking it up. Look at this engine bay. This thing has really come a long way.
It's coming together. It's coming together. It needs a good detail still though.
Yes. Sure. So Daniel, OC Detail, will be coming to see you soon. Pretty sure that wraps up almost everything as far as the visuals underneath the hood.
So we still have to do the transmission swap. We're swapping to a JDM 6-speed. We also have to swap the rear diff, and we're going to put in an upgraded clutch. And then in addition, we're going to get the car tuned.
Zach from Delicious Tuning is going to be doing a street tune on this car. No, it's not going to be on the dyno. We're not really trying to pump out maximum horsepower. We just want something that's a nice, reliable, daily drivable tune. We also have an AEM wideband O2 sensor to install. So overall, the car has come a very, very long way. There's still a lot of work to be done. Remember guys, we're giving this car away in less than 2 weeks. So please give this video a big thumbs up. Definitely subscribe to the channel. If you want to get entered to win the car, the link's in the description. We'll see you guys in the next video.